You're in the kitchen, ready to whip up a quick and easy meal. You reach for a can of beans, pop it open, and pour its contents into a pot. But as you stir, a question lingers. Is this can of food really safe to eat? It's a thought that might not cross your mind often, but it's worth considering. The convenience of canned foods comes with a hidden risk that many people are unaware of: BPA in the can linings. While canned foods are a pantry staple for their long shelf life and ease of use, the materials used to line these cans could be introducing harmful chemicals into your meals. Let's take a closer look at the presence of BPA in can linings, the potential health risks, and what you can do to protect yourself and your family. Bisphenol A, BPA, is an industrial chemical that has been used since the 1960s to make certain plastics and resins. One of the most common uses of BPA is in the lining of metal food cans. These linings are designed to prevent the metal from corroding and reacting with the food inside, which helps to preserve the food's quality and extend its shelf life. However, the use of BPA in can linings has raised significant health concerns. The problem with BPA in can linings is that it doesn't stay put. Over time, BPA can leach into the food, especially when the can is exposed to heat or stored for long periods. This means that every time you eat canned food, there's a chance you're ingesting small amounts of BPA. BPA is known as an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can interfere with the body's hormone systems. It mimics the structure of estrogen, a key hormone that regulates many functions in the body. When BPA enters the body, it can bind to estrogen receptors, potentially leading to a range of health issues. The health risks associated with BPA exposure have been the subject of extensive research, and the findings are concerning. BPA exposure has been associated with reproductive problems, including reduced fertility, hormonal imbalances, and developmental issues in fetuses and children. Studies suggest that even low levels of BPA can impact reproductive health, particularly in women. Some research has indicated a potential link between BPA exposure and an increased risk of certain cancers, including breast and prostate cancer. The hormone-mimicking properties of BPA are thought to play a role in the development of hormone-related cancers. BPA has also been linked to metabolic disorders, such as obesity and insulin resistance, as well as an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. The disruption of hormone signaling caused by BPA may contribute to these health issues. For children, BPA exposure has been associated with behavioral and developmental problems, including hyperactivity and impaired cognitive function. The developing brain is particularly vulnerable to the effects of endocrine disruptors like BPA. Not all canned foods are created equal when it comes to BPA exposure. While many food manufacturers have started to phase out the use of BPA in can linings, the process is not yet universal. Some companies have switched to BPA-free can linings made from alternative materials, such as acrylic or polyester. However, these alternatives are not without their own concerns, as the safety of the substitute materials has not been as extensively studied as BPA. Acidic foods, such as tomatoes, are more likely to cause BPA to leach from the can lining into the food. This means that canned tomatoes, tomato sauces, and other acidic foods may pose a higher risk of BPA exposure compared to less acidic options. Unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell whether a can is lined with BPA or a safer alternative. While some brands clearly label their products as BPA-free, others do not provide this information, leaving consumers in the dark. While completely avoiding canned foods might not be practical for everyone, there are steps you can take to minimize your BPA exposure. Look for brands that specifically label their products as BPA-free. Many companies have made the switch to safer can linings and are transparent about their packaging materials. Whenever possible, choose fresh or frozen versions of your favorite foods instead of canned. These options are free from the risks associated with BPA and other chemicals found in can linings. Some foods, like soups and sauces, are available in glass jars or Tetra Pak cartons. These packaging options are typically BPA-free and offer a safer alternative to traditional cans. If you do use canned foods, avoid heating them directly in the can, as heat can increase the likelihood of BPA leaching. Instead, transfer the food to a glass or ceramic container before heating. Be mindful of the types of canned foods you consume. Limiting your intake of acidic canned foods, such as tomatoes, can help reduce your BPA exposure. Canned foods offer convenience and long shelf life, but they also come with potential health risks due to the presence of BPA in can linings. By being aware of these risks and making informed choices, you can reduce your exposure to BPA and protect your health. Whether it's choosing BPA-free brands, opting for fresh or frozen alternatives, or avoiding high-risk foods, there are plenty of ways to enjoy the benefits of canned foods without compromising your well-being. So the next time you reach for that can of soup or beans, take a moment to consider what's inside, not just the food, but the container as well. Your health is worth the extra effort to ensure that what you're eating is truly safe.